Hello and welcome to your news and features electronic magazine that centers on the different facets of motoring. Now on its 34th year, this is Motoring Today. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for.
On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the controversial plan to register e-scooters. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on what to do when one encounters a double solid yellow line road marking. This week's Payong Super shall be about the illegal use of mobile phones while driving. The public service segment centers on an overloaded EDSA busway bus. Showcase this week shall have the pickup from Mitsubishi, the Strada Athlete 4x4. While for race weekend, we'll have on the spotlight AAP's Digital Rally Trophy.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are in this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
Voting for the next Automobile of the Year is extended. To be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. Just log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2020. Vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. It was inevitable. When Transport and Traffic Management Authorities decided to establish the EDSA busway, dedicating the innermost lanes of the major thoroughfare for the use of buses, U-turns on EDSA would have to be closed. Now it has started to phase in the closure of the U-turns.
At 12:01 a.m. of September 28, a Monday, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority closed the U-turn slot both northbound and southbound along EDSA near Trinoma Mall and North Avenue. This is the first U-turn of several to be closed to make way for the full and complete operation of the EDSA busway, which aims to provide a traffic congestion-free lane on EDSA for buses from Balintawak to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange. The MMDA has placed directional signs to guide motorists to routes that could be used in place of the U-turn. For those on the southbound side of EDSA needing to head back north, they can take the U-turn slot on the service road of Quezon Avenue. For those on the northbound side needing to head back south, motorists can still use the Quezon Academy U-turn slot. MMDA Chairman Danilo Lim said more U-turn slots are scheduled to be closed. These are at the De Jesus, General Tino, Malvar, and Biglang Awa in Caloocan City, Balintawak, Kaingin, Landers, Dario Bridge, Walter Mart, Quezon City Academy, Trinoma, Timog, and Santolan in Quezon City.
People expect the MMDA to see how the first U-turn slot closure affects motorists and the traffic flow on the alternate routes, and use the experience to alleviate the confusion and congestion when closing the next U-turn on the schedule. Transport authorities are allowing provincial buses to resume operations on 12 routes from cities and towns north and south of Metro Manila, but under strict guidelines.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board is allowing the resumption of provincial bus services in 12 modified routes from Pampanga, Cavite, Batangas, and Laguna. The 12 routes are from San Fernando in Pampanga to the Araneta Center in Cubao, Quezon City, Batangas City, Lemery, Lipa, and Nasugbu in Batangas to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange. Indang, Mendez, Ternate, and Tagaytay City in Cavite to the PITX, and Calamba, Siniloan, and Santa Cruz and Laguna to PITX. The LTFRB said the routes were the result of consultations with local government units, terminal and bus operators, other stakeholders. The provincial buses operating in the 12 routes will comply all health safety protocols mandated by the IATF. Buses will be installed with a global navigation satellite system for easy monitoring. No need for special permits, but operators will have to download and print QR codes for display on authorized bus units. Passengers need to present Travel Authority or PASS from the Philippine National Police from origin, a valid ID, and written consent to undergo COVID-19 testing or quarantine at origin or destination if required by LGUs concerned. Passengers can only get off at designated stops along the route and at the final stop.
The resumption of bus services between nearby provinces and Metro Manila is a welcome sign for those who believe that reopening the economy is just as important as containing the spread of COVID-19. Others hope bus operators and passengers understand the need to strictly follow health protocols. Toyota has not been quite as active in the PUVMP, but it may not come as a surprise if they do finally become an active participant.
For decades now, Toyota Motor Philippines has been the country's leading manufacturer and distributor of passenger cars and light commercial vehicles. So it is quite noticeable that it is not as visible as other players in the auto industry when it comes to participation in the government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. But that could change. It is still in the early studies phase, but Toyota is looking at the possibility of using its other popular people mover, the Coaster, as an entry in the PUVMP. It can be recalled that its first entry to the PUVMP is its Hilux model.
Toyota always supports government initiatives, especially when it comes to improving the mobility needs of the public. Currently, there are no plans to further develop the Hilux prototypes in line with the PUV modernization program. However, because there are a lot of social distancing measures mandated by the government during the pandemic, we are studying the possibility of utilizing another popular Toyota model, which is the Toyota Coaster. So it's got a bigger seating capacity and can, load more people, can transport more people at a time. So this is the one we're studying. But as of this time, it's really just under study. So no further details yet for this one.
Active Toyota participation could certainly boost efforts of transport authorities to modernize the land transport industry. For the past few years, proponents have been using electric vehicle and environmental summits and conferences to promote low-carbon urban transport. The year of the pandemic may be the turning point for the campaign.
The 3-day 8th Philippine Electric Vehicle Virtual Summit had a successful run, again bringing together private sector stakeholders and government regulatory agencies having anything and everything to do with the local electric vehicle industry. In opening the summit, Electric Vehicle Association of the Philippines President Edmund Araga perhaps expressed what many believe to be the silver lining in the dark cloud that is the COVID-19 pandemic. While the current times are full of uncertainty and the next few years look bleak, they also provide new opportunities and insights on how to make the world a better place, including on how to push forward electric vehicles in the Philippines. Among others, it allows us to reboot the way we move. Again, one of the main topics of discussion is the promotion of low-carbon urban transport. And this year, major car makers seem to be more enthusiastic about promoting their electric and hybrid vehicles. Among EVAP's partners of the EV Summit were Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation and Nissan Philippines Incorporated, the Department of Transportation, United Nations Development Program, Department of Energy, and eSakay. The DOTR again presented its plan to establish a more sustainable public transport system while encouraging low-carbon alternatives for personal mobility. The 4 key to the shift to low-carbon urban transport are again discussed. Effective enforcement of policies for environment-friendly modes of transport, adopting and implementing low-carbon transport programs, increasing private sector participation, as well as investment in the commercialization of environment-friendly transport system. The summit highlighted that while under the COVID-19 pandemic, government has been resolute in implementing the PUV modernization program. Also in his speech at the opening of the summit, Department of Trade and Industry Secretary Ramon Lopez expressed the government's vision to make the country a hub for the production of electric vehicles in the region.
There is a lot to be optimistic about for the development and growth of the local electric vehicle industry and for low-carbon urban transport. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The LTO is moving to include e-scooters under its jurisdiction. That is to have owners register their e-scooters with the LTO and users to have licenses to operate them on public roads. The topic trended on social media as well as in motoring media. The question that seemed to be on everybody's mind was, is this really necessary, especially now that we are in the middle of a pandemic?
It really looks inevitable. The use of electric scooters on public roads will be regulated sooner than later. More and more of them are now on the road. They are affordable, easy, and convenient to use, and considered a safer mode of commuting than public transport in this age of social or physical distancing because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Even before the pandemic, e-scooters were seen being used on public roads. Users considered them the woke form of personal mobility. But many motorists considered them nuisances on the road, a danger to themselves and others. There were grumblings calling for their ban on public roads, and murmurs calling for regulating their use. Transport authorities, particularly the Land Transportation Office, had to take notice of their growing number as community quarantine restrictions were eased and more trades and services were allowed to reopen. So it wasn't a surprise when the Land Transportation Office announced that it had drafted an administrative order mandating registration of e-scooters and need for licenses to use them on public roads. The administrative order and proposed regulation for e-scooter use had already been submitted to the DOTR for approval, the LTO said, hinting at how e-scooters would be classified and possible restrictions on road use. LTO Chief ASEC Edgar Galvante was reported to have said, "We classify based on the weight of the vehicle, speed, and which roads e-scooters can use, because we all know that because of the nature of these types of vehicles, specifically their being lightweight, it can pose dangers to users if not used properly and not driven on the right roads." The announcement drew criticism and savage memes, questioning both the need for regulating e-scooters and/or the timing of the move to regulate e-scooters. Among those questioning the wisdom and timing of the LTO initiative to regulate e-scooters was Transport Secretary Arthur Tugade. While saying he would listen to arguments from both sides of the issue, the regulators and those arguing for e-scooter registration and licensing of users, and those protesting against any form of regulation, Tugade said he was of the opinion this was unnecessary while communities, the economy, and the government regulators are still grappling community quarantine restrictions. It was pointed out that the LTO still has to resolve backlogs in the renewal of motor vehicle registrations, arbitrarily extending the validity of registration papers, and calling for registration of a new category of motorized vehicle like the e-scooter would cause LTO more problems. Many are saying the use of e-scooters, especially on public roads and main thoroughfares, truly need to be regulated to ensure safety, but needs some study. The pandemic has shown that e-scooters can play a significant role in the future of sustainable personal mobility and mass transport.
Many countries have begun to regulate the use of e-scooters on public roads, and the LTO has good reasons for ensuring their users' safety. The question now is, does the LTO have the capability to regulate this new category of motorized transport at this point in time? Or can we wait until the pandemic ends? That's this week's Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today, and in line with our lifelong commitment to promote road safety, here is this week's road safety tip, courtesy of Toyota Motor Philippines.
Kadalasang makikita ang double solid yellow line sa mga tulay. Ang ibig sabihin nito ay bawal kang mag-overtake sa kahit anong oras dahil maaari kang maaksidente katulad ng ipinapakita sa animation. Roads that have double solid yellow lines are often busy, so be a responsible driver at huwag mag-overtake.
Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. From Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, here is Bayang Chuper this week.
Bayong Chopper lang kaibigan, ako si Marlon, isang kapwa nyo chopper. Habang nagmamaneho, kailangan buo ang atensyon mo at hindi gulo-gulo.
Ang cellphone isa ng malaking bahagi sa buhay ng tao. Halos lahat ay meron at gumagamit nito. Pero sana kapag tayo ay nagmamaneho, tigilan muna natin ang paggamit ng cellphone. Paalala lang, sa pagmamaneho kailangan ang iba yung konsentrasyon. Kapag ikaw ay nagtetelepono, ang isip mo ay wala sa iyong pagmamaneho at ito ay maaaring maging rason para magkaroon ng aksidente.
Kung ayaw mong mamultahan o maaksidente, huwag kang gumamit ng cellphone habang nagmamaneho. Si Marlon Gudmalin, payong super lang, kaibigan mula sa isang kapwa niyo super.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Voting for the next Automobile of the Year is extended. To be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. Just log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2020. Vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next. We start with the latest news and developments. Pamela Baranda and Rian Ramos will race for Team Phoenix Pulse in the upcoming Phoenix Pulse Formula V1 Cup 2020, the country's first homegrown esports program. Baranda and Ramos, veterans of Vios Cup and Formula V1 endurance races, will be competing in the amateur class of the country's first homegrown esports program, which flags off online on October 10 using the PC-based game run by Assetto Corsa software. The 2 women celebrity racers will join multi-awarded young drivers Russell Gabriel Cabrera and Joaquin Garrido in Team Phoenix Pulse. Cabrera and Garrido will be racing in the pro class of the E-Race Series. Team Phoenix Pulse's goal in joining the Formula V1 Virtual Cup is to promote Philippine motorsports in a virtual setting, encouraging everyone to make virtual racing a source of leisure and easing every race's fans' desire to watch car racing. More in the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. Automobile Association Philippines, or AAP, has started its own digital race series, the AAP Digital Rally Trophy. What it is and how it is run and why is explained in this edition of Race Weekend. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of virtually the entire season of local motorsports championships and race events. As motorsports aficionados and racers began chafing at not having races to compete in and watch, some intrepid race organizers shifted to holding online sim races. Tuason Racing held what it called the Race for Frontliners. Toyota Motor Philippines held the GR Supra GT Cup Asia Philippines, a search for representative to the regional competition to be held later in the year. Both use the Gran Turismo platform. Now comes Automobile Association Philippines launching its own series it calls the AAP Digital Rally Trophy. The e-rally will have entries competing against each other online on the Dirt Rally 2 video game. Qualifying to be an official entry in the competition will be held on RaceNet. The fastest 7 using a PlayStation and the fastest 7 using a PC will become the official entry in the live lobby event to be streamed live on Dominado Esports Rally. Why is the AAP, local ASN or National Sporting Authority of the FIA, holding its own online digital race series? Ivan Isada, AAP Motorsports Manager, offers this explanation.
Definitely, motorsports and online gaming is going to be one of the new trends for motorsports, because in essence, they are the same, albeit the realism of digital motorsports and the virtual reality. No? But with changing times already and the simulators being very much used as a tool already for motorsports, it's an opportunity for a lot of young drivers also to get in and to be fascinated with the sport. Basically, they want digital motorsports and the ASN to try to apply the realistic officiating and organizing of it, just like the real motorsports, so that it helps develop also new people to come in also and join the sport and be engaged with it. So that's what they're trying to do with the digital motorsports. So it's not necessarily grassroots, but it's more of opening that opportunity also for these guys to be involved in motorsports.
The AAP Digital Rally Trophy is to have 4 rounds, each an attempt to relive the 4 rallies that made up the 1993 Philippine Rally Championship.
The AAP Digital Rally Trophy is featuring about the 1993 Philippine Rally Championship because it is there to help also educate a bit of history from motorsports. We chose that one because it was one of those golden years of Philippine motorsports. Well, the 1993 Philippine Rally Championship was the era of the Group A rally cars, and they also had the Mitsubishi Rally Art team, which was testing for the APRC. And also that team was able to win also all 4 straight rallies that year. So it was a dominant year, and there were also the Mazda 323s of the MP Turbo team.
To relive the 1993 Philippine Rally Championship, entries will compete only in Group A cars and on Dirt Rally 2 stages. That are approximate conditions of the specific rounds of the historic Rally Championship. The first round of the Digital Rally Trophy saw competitors driving on stages that simulate the hot, dry, bumpy gravel stages of the Rally of Bulacan back in 1993.
We were able to run the Digital Rally last week and live streamed it through Dominado Motorsports page. And we had around 30 entrants, and we used the other 2 rally stages of Australia. And with those 7, we got the top 7 from the PlayStation 4 and the top 7 from the PC. And they were very good, especially for the top runners who were not making mistakes as if they were also the computer itself. No? And it was very exciting for the guys, and they had a lot of fun competing because being out of competition from the real competition, or experiencing that kind of competition was very different, because even if you say that everything is simulated, it is simulating also the competitiveness of everyone.
There is still time to join the Digital Rally and score points to win the trophy.
We'll be having the next AAP Digital Rally on October 4, which will be representative of the Rally of Champions in 1993, which was held in Batangas and Tagaytay. So we'll be looking for night stages that are most representative of that. We'll also have the round 3 of October 18 in Rally of Subic Bay. That time in 1993, it was a very new place for the rallyists to run their cars. And on November 8th, we'll also be having the Mabuhay Rally, which is the longest rally of the year that goes through Nueva Ecija, Subic Bay, and Bataan. So those 3 days, we'll try to find also a replication of stages in the Dirt Rally 2 game. So for those who want to join in the Digital Rally Trophy, you can go to our Facebook page, which is AAP Motorsports, and scroll down to look for the Digital Rally Trophy links.
Even before the pandemic, the FIA, to which AAP is member organization, has been actively involved in the organization and running of digital motorsports events. The AAP Digital Rally Trophy may just be an extension of this initiative. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the new Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Let's now take a look at what's happening in the local auto industry.
Kia Philippines has unboxed more details of the Stonic, which it says caters to young car buyers. In a pre-launch conference for media, Kia touted the hip and stylish design of its subcompact crossover that is expected to be formally launched on October 15. Kia added that aside from the style aimed at car buyers, the Stonic is also filled with exterior and interior features that cater to people in a connected world. This includes an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system compatible with both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that blasts clear music through the 6 audio speakers packaged as standard on the Stonic. Kia said the Stonic is powered by a 1.4 dual CVVT engine, mated to either a 5-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. Also unveiled were very attractive introductory prices of the Kia Stonic, 675,000 pesos for the entry-level variant LXMT, 785,000 pesos for the middle-range LXAT, and 875,000 pesos for the EXMT. These discounts are offered to those who reserve a Stonic on or before October 15.
Kia Stonic. Style that's iconic.
Peugeot has unveiled the 508 sport-engineered sedan and Sportswagen plug-in hybrid electric vehicles that are said to be the French Marquis' most powerful production models. The new plug-in hybrid 508s will be powered by a conventional engine and electric motors that combined develop 270 kW power and 520 Nm of torque. Peugeot says the new sport-engineered 508s can go from 0 to 100 km per hour in 5.2 seconds and have a top speed of 250 km per hour. The new 508s will have 5 driving modes. These include electric, which has a range of 42 km driving up to 140 km per hour, hybrid, which automatically balances and selects combustion or electric power to optimize efficiency depending on conditions, comfort, which is a hybrid mode with softer suspension settings, 4-wheel drive for maximum traction in slippery conditions, and sport for maximum performance with firm suspension and steering setting. The engine charges the 508's battery when power is not required for acceleration. The battery can also be fully charged in 7 hours plugged into a regular home outlet or in just 2 hours using a 32-amp wall box. According to Peugeot, the 508 sport-engineered models draw inspiration from past models with taillights that mimic the Peugeot 504s, alongside black exhaust outlets and a gloss black central diffuser. plus a sharper front bumper, grille, and side skirts. A new 3 Kryptonite Claws logo graces the grille, front quarter guards, and steering wheel. The Sport Engineered 508 will be sold in Europe beginning in the middle of October.
I am your future.
Ford Philippines has finally rolled out the 4x4 variant of the Ranger FX4. The Ford Ranger FX4 4x4 is an exciting addition to our Ranger lineup as we continue to complement and enable a diverse range of customer needs and lifestyles. It is a fully loaded truck with a competitive pricing that will strengthen our position in the 4x4 pickup segment, said PK Umashankar, Ford Philippines Managing Director. With this new 4x4 variant for the FX4, we are able to cater to customers who need a truck that can take off-road surfaces, challenging terrains, and extreme road conditions, he added. The Ranger FX4 4x4 is powered by the 2.2-liter Duratorque diesel engine, delivering 160 PS and 385 Nm of torque, mated with a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission. The newest pickup in the Ford pickup lineup features distinctive black mesh grille, the unique FX4 18-inch black alloy wheels, extended black tubular sports bar, and black accents on side mirror caps, door handles, front and rear bumpers, and fenders. The FX4 4x4 is priced at 1,356,000 pesos for the manual variant and 1,416,000 pesos for the automatic variant. Ford is offering an exclusive launch offer of a 50,000 peso discount for both 4x4 variants.
Motoring Today now brings you our Car of the Week on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. The pickup wars appear to never have ceased, even with the COVID-19 pandemic changing much of the landscape of the battlefield. The campaigns are led by special edition variants. Showcase takes a look at the Mitsubishi Vanguard in the pickup wars, the Strada Athlete.
When Mitsubishi unveiled the latest generation Strada at its global premiere in Bangkok, Thailand, the radical change of its fascia and profile stunned many, including longtime fans of the mid-sized pickup truck. Mitsubishi calls the new front design the Dynamic Shield, which has styling cues shared with other new vehicles like the Xpander. Mitsubishi brought the Strada with the Defense Shield to the Philippines last year. The chiseled hood and squared front fender that framed the headlights with halogen fog lamps and LED daylight running light, the bold grille, large lower air intake, and muscular bumper with integrated skid plate looked more powerful, tougher, and more distinctive. On the road, the Strada curved out a space that is 5,300 millimeters long, 1,815 millimeters wide, and 1,795 millimeters tall, with a 220 millimeter ground clearance and a 3,000 millimeter long wheelbase. From the side, it didn't look like the Strada changed much, while the rear featured new design headlight. When it later rolled out the Strada Athlete as the new flagship model for its pickup truck line in the country, Mitsubishi blacked out the chrome features, as well as the front bumper garnish, the radiator grille, the styling bar with bed liner, the rear bumper, the tailgate grip, even the roof. The 18-inch alloy wheels, wrapped by 265 by 60 R18 110H tires, were also given the black treatment. The bold body graphics used thick splashes of black. The 4x4 variant of the Athlete comes with a lot of the upgrades now filtering down from luxurious vehicles and becoming standard and top-of-line variants of more affordable models. There is the keyless operating system, which makes getting into the spacious cabin of the pickup more convenient. Orange-black leather upholstery with orange stitching for seats, gear shift panel and knob, and parking brake lever help the Strada live up to the Athlete moniker. So do the front seats with oversized and well-cushioned side and leg supports to keep driver and passenger firmly but comfortably in place, especially when driving on rough terrain or at speed, or doing both at the same time. The driver can use his 8-way power adjustable seat to find the perfect driving position. The J-line design of the Strada cabin allows for more cabin interior room, especially favoring those in the back seat. The rear seat back features a pull-down center armrest with twin cup holders. The Athlete comes with a dual-zone automatic climate control system. The leather-wrapped steering wheel features magnesium alloy paddle shifter and controls for audio and cruise control. For onboard entertainment, there's a touchscreen multimedia system with GPS navigation and complemented by a reverse camera. The Athlete is powered by the same engine powering the more affordable Stradas. The 4N15 engine with 2.4-liter displacement, DOHC, 16 valves, variable geometry turbo, Mitsubishi innovative valve timing electronic control, and electronic common rail direct injection fuel system. The engine is rated at 181 horsepower at 3,500 RPM and 430 Newton meters. The Athlete 4x4 comes with Super Select 4-wheel drive 2 system. Driver gets to select from 2H or 2-wheel drive high range, perfect for cruising on the highway and drives in the city, or 4H, 4-wheel drive high, torque splits 40-60 between front and rear wheels for better traction in drizzly and slippery conditions on highway. For more slippery and rougher road conditions, there's the 4H LC 4WD high range, splitting torque equally between front and rear wheels. On off-road trails and rough terrain, there's the 4LLC mode, 4-wheel drive low range with locked center differential. All these modes easily selected electronically with a turn of a dial. The Strada Athlete rides on a suspension system featuring double wishbone with coil springs and stabilizer bar in front and rigid elliptical leaf springs with telescopic shock absorber in the rear. The brake system uses front 17-inch ventilated discs and rear 11.6-inch leading and trailing drums. And for every road, weather, and driving situations, the Strada Athlete provides a multitude of driver assist technologies, including, among others, Mitsubishi Active Stability and Traction Control, Forward Collision Mitigation System, Blind Spot Warning with Lane Change Assist, Rear Cross Traffic Alert, Ultrasonic Misacceleration Mitigation System, Trailer Stability Assist, Hill Descent Control, Hill Start Assist, Multi-Around Monitor with guiding and expected course line, Auto High Beam, Anti-Lock Brake System, and Electronic Brake Force Distribution. Added safety features include Reinforced Impact Safety Evolution or RISE body, 7 SRS airbags, 3-point ELR seatbelts with double pretensioner for driver, and single pretensioner with force limiter for front seat passengers, and 3-point seatbelts for all 3 rear seat passengers. Mitsubishi describes the Strada Athlete as a well-balanced road warrior, which manifests Mitsubishi's 40 years of truck engineering heritage.
The battle for supremacy in the pickup wars should be an interesting one as we head to the final months of the difficult year in 2020. Many contenders have come out armed with all the latest auto and smart connectivity technology. That's our featured vehicle on this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Voting for the next Automobile of the Year is extended. To be part of the 2020-2021 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. Just log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2020. Vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2020-2021 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate standard and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2020. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems not only in the metro, but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems referred to us or we ourselves see and hope to fully find solutions for. Here is our public service segment brought to you by Honda Cars Philippines.
The EDSA busway system, developed by transport authorities, has been operational for months now. It has its own share of controversies, including overspeeding buses, motorists hitting the barriers, and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority replacing these with bollards. Recently, it's been on the spotlight anew. In a now viral social media post, Danieri Cabral shared that the bus where he is in exceeded the required passenger capacity mandated by the government because of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, health protocols such as the 1-meter physical distancing were not followed. It can also be heard in the video he posted that the bus conductor was telling the commuters not to complain so they can all go home. In a virtual press conference organized by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, Chairman Martin Delgado III said that this incident is alarming, especially that the health crisis is still not over. By this time, a summons has been sent to the operator for them to appeal and explain.
So, pinapadalan po yan ng summons for them to appear and explain. If the explanation is not, obviously with this compelling reason, baka matatamaan sila ng mga penalties nito.
The LTFRB chairman also stressed that the department engages in matters like this in 2 things.
It's not just penal or enforcement side, but we continue on a weekly, if not daily basis, to engage the operators, telling them about the responsibility, yung mga nagmo-monitor po tayo on a daily basis. Kaya not only are we getting the report from like what you just said, no? Dun sa, hindi ko alam kung Facebook, social media ba yan o whatever, but we also get our own report and we summon and call the attention of the operators to avoid this kind of thing.
For her part, LTFRB National Capital Region Director, Attorney Zona Tamayo, was delighted with the fact that commuters take active participation in reporting incidents like this.
It works two-way for our operators to strictly comply with the health protocols, and on the side din po ng mga passengers to report to us ho yung mga ganyang insidente para ho mapatawag din po natin yung mga operators na hindi ho sumusunod sa mga health protocols.
This should be a reminder to all of us road users that the deadly COVID-19 is still out there. Let's all together be safe, healthy, and respect one another.
And that's our public service segment from Honda Cars Philippines. And should you yourself encounter motoring problems that need immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. See the details being flashed on your screen. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to check us out on our social media accounts.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 34th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. Stay healthy and be vigilant at all times. On behalf of Butch Gamboa, our dad, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy motoring!